All right, guys, as you can see here, this is my first e-com store ever. I started dropshipping back in early 2017. I think it was January. And it's funny, I actually started this store on a different Shopify account. So there are some sales missing. And then I migrated everything to a different one. I guess it was in July. And the reason for that was I had some holds on my processors and I was trying to figure out a way around it. Anyways, so you can see how quickly I scaled this store up here. September was 600,000, October 660, and then November 950. December was my first 7-figure month with 1.2 million. And then I did 1.3 million, 1.1 million, 1.5 million, 1.6 million, 900,000, 400,000. And it was actually, this is May. So it was actually right around this time that, and this is kind of silly in hindsight, but the Wall Street Journal wrote an article about me and one of my products, and it was like a drop shipping hit piece. I show it in one of my other videos. You can check it out. Article's still up. Anyways, when that article came out, they plastered my name in there and name of my store, all that stuff. And I got super paranoid that everybody was going to start copying me, even though, I already had a lot of copycats, but I thought it was going to get out of control. So I started a second store immediately and started scaling that one up and just kind of gradually shifted all my attention to that store. You can see my numbers started drifting down. And while these numbers were coming down, my other store started scaling up to 7-figure months pretty much immediately. 150,000 orders on this account. Average order value, $63.95. This is pretty accurate here still today, where I really do try to shoot for a $60 AOV. That doesn't mean products need to be $60. Okay. A lot of times people will buy more than one item when they check out, and I actually factor that into my decision-making process for what products to test. I like the products where people are going to buy more than one, right? And so maybe it's a $40 item and maybe 20 or 30% of people that check out are going to buy 2 or 3 of them. Usually works out to be, my stores are usually in that 60 to 70 AOV range. 2% conversion rate. This is super healthy for dropshipping, running just purely cold traffic. 2% is very, very healthy. You can run a 20 to 30% profit margin with a 2% conversion rate. If you're not running a very healthy store with say I've seen people run 3-4% conversion rates and barely make any money. And it has to do with the way you're pricing your products, the way you're structuring your offers, how good your back end is set up as far as retargeting and whatnot. Just wanted to get that out of the way, show you here. I'll do a little refresh. I'm not messing around here. Takes because it's so much data, it takes it a minute to load. And this is just my first store. So a lot of you guys are wondering, has something changed since 2017, 2018? Has anything changed? And I can tell you confidently, very little has changed. Okay. I went on to crush it with this method for the next 3 years. Okay. And my students have also crushed it with this method honestly, they never stopped running it. Even when I got out of the industry in 2021, I just wanted to take a break. I'd made plenty of money. I wanted to enjoy my family and my time on the farm and everything. And so I just stopped working on a lot of stuff. The strategy still works. There's a few tweaks that we've made, especially in the last few months. The fundamentals haven't changed. And that means general stores still work. Image ads still work. The same type of products that I ran in 2017, 2018 still work. They work just as well as they always have. And you've got to understand, people haven't changed. The only thing that changes is tone of the industry. And the reason for that is that influencers have a need to continually produce new content. These guys, they come out and they say, this doesn't work anymore. You have to do this. It's all clickbait. It's all just them trying to sound smarter than everybody else. And I'm here to tell you, I know it's kind of boring to say that nothing's changed, but it's just reality. The buyers haven't changed. What makes you think that the global population that we sell to, we sell worldwide. What makes you think that all of these people have suddenly changed their shopping behaviors? Doesn't make sense. So you don't have to listen to all these guys saying, oh, this doesn't work anymore. There are lots of methods that work, guys. I'm going to reveal some of the winning products from this store. Okay, I have multiple 7-figure products on this store. I will take some time to break them down for you. So yes, I made $10 million my first year drop shipping, and The question that I get asked most is, what did I do different than everybody else in the industry in order to reach 8 figures in my first year? And I've had a lot of time to reflect on this. Of course, in the moment, I didn't know that I was doing anything differently. I was just doing what made sense to me. But now looking back and after having time of working with hundreds of clients and understanding all the different strategies out there, I have been able to condense what made my approach so unique into 2 different things. The first being that I was convinced there had to be someone or several people out there that were the first ones to find these winning products that everybody else was copying, right? Dropshipping has always been a game of copy pasta, okay? Everybody's ripping content from somebody else and spying on stores and taking their products and going back and forth, and they're all fighting over the same pie. But someone's got to be first, right? Someone has to be the pioneer of that product. Somebody's got to find it before everyone else. And when that happens, when you're the first person on a winning product, there's got to be a window of time where your margins are insane. And so I structured my strategy around that theory. And during that window of time, when no one's copying that product from you yet, you have an opportunity to scale that product to ridiculously high numbers. This is why I've been able to consistently find 7-figure products in my career, because I'm stumbling on these products that no one else is selling yet. Now, eventually, you get the copycats, they come in, they start competing over that pie that you've worked on. But if you scale aggressive enough, you can exhaust much of that audience before other people get involved, okay? The second reason I was able to hit that 10 mil number in my first year, and I've gone on to do close to 50 million in this industry since I began in 2017, and that's counting, I actually took the last 2 years off. So 21, 22, I did not dropship at all. So the method, the strategy, the principles are all still the same today. Anyways, the second reason that I was able to hit those numbers is because I focused entirely on image ads. Every other dropshipper is doing videos. I didn't understand why. And frankly, I didn't have any video editing skills. So I had no interest in trying it. And I just thought logically, like, why do you need a video to sell a product? Now, there are some products that need videos in order for someone to understand what the product is, to understand the benefits. But there are a lot of products out there like, simple coffee mug with a cool design that doesn't need a video to explain it. You can see clearly what it is with an image, right? So those are the types of products I focused on. And because I did that, I was able to test a very high volume of products, all right? I was able to consistently test 30, 40, 50 products every week. And in doing so, I was able to consistently find those winners that other people hadn't scaled yet. So in the time that it takes you to edit and launch a product, edit a video, launch a product, build out your long form product page, all that stuff, I do short form. The same amount of time it takes you to do that, I can do 10 or 20 products with image ads and short form content. Okay, so money like speed, right? The more you can simplify things, the more of it you can do. So you're probably wondering, how do I find these untapped winning products? Well, I'm going to take you through a few products that I found before I shot this video. We're going to go over the 3 pillars of product research that I teach. 1 being the quality of the image, 2 being your margin or AOV, and 3 being who is your audience. So I'm going to go through these products with you and also discuss a couple of methods that I use to help me figure out if a product has been scaled before. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, because in my next video, I'm going to reveal my best-selling product of all time, a 7-figure winner. Yes, I ran it with image ads. Yes, my product description was 1 sentence long. And successfully sold that product profitably for about 9 months and did 7 figures with it. So I'm going to break down that product for you in my next video. I'm also going to be releasing a video very soon that goes over what's changed in the dropshipping industry since 2017, 2018. What am I doing differently today? I hope to see you guys in those as well. So like, subscribe, comment on this, please. It really helps the channel. I appreciate it. Now let's dive into those products. All right, guys. So we're going to dive into a few products here really quick so I can discuss the different things that I'm looking for when doing product research. What are the three main factors that contribute to a product's success, in my opinion. Product does not have to meet all three of these criteria for it to be a winner. It's just that the more of these that it has, the more of these features that it has, the higher the chance of it working in my experience. Okay. So first off here, we have some wall hanging baskets, image that actually caught my eye here, but I like this one probably best. Unfortunately, this product doesn't actually fully meet the first criteria. I'd say it's like 80% of the way. And the first criteria is that it needs to have an eye-catching image. Okay. Some of the other products that we'll look at here in a little bit will be a little bit more eye-catching, but this one does meet, for me, at least the other two categories very, very clearly. And those are, one is the potential for margin. And a lot of things that we factor into this, one is how, what is the cost of goods compared to what do we think we can price it at? But also, what is the likelihood that someone's going to buy more than one, thereby increasing our AOV by quite a bit. And in this case, I can definitely see someone buying more than one. At least I would see most people buying, right? So while the image is okay, the image does clearly communicate what the product is. It's instantly recognizable as far as what you're selling, okay? Especially this image here. It's like zoomed in up close. We're looking at these 3 bags. 3 is also a very good number for images. This applies to in a lot of different ways. Like when I was a chef, you never wanted to just put 2 things on a plate. 3 always looks better. Odd numbers always look better. It's just an aesthetics thing. So this image looks good. Price wise, not bad at all. I could definitely see someone paying $29.99 for the extra large one. And then now there's way too many options here. So this is something to consider as well when you're importing products, is that you need to make the checkout process extremely simple. Now, if we're going to use an image that has 3 sizes, like a large, medium, small, then we should be only providing 3 options. Okay. In fact, if I had like a really high quality image of just 2 bags or just 2 baskets, I'd probably run with that. But it looks like the majority of the good images here have 3. This is primarily the one that I'm looking at. And so I'd probably do the 2XL, the L, and the small. All right. And I'd eliminate the other options. I rename the 3 that I chose to large, medium, and small, just to make it stupid simple, right? And we could do $29.99 for the 2XL. We could do $24.99 for the large, and then $19.99 for the small. You have some other options here as far as offers go. You could create a bundle as well. This does kind of complicate things because some people would want 3 big ones. Some people would want 1 of each size. And generally speaking, with bundles, we don't want to offer a bunch of complicated options. We want to have like one very specific option, which is like 1 of each size. And you basically get a special deal if you get 1 of each size. In this case, I don't think we need to offer a bundle in order to make the conversion. Okay, I don't think the bundle is required in order to get someone across the finish line. I think if somebody likes these, they're already going to want to buy multiples. They don't necessarily need an incentive to buy multiples. Okay, so in this case, I wouldn't even offer a bundle. I would just offer the 3 sizes. So the third feature that we're looking for is, who are we going to sell it to? Do we know who our audience is, right? And it's very clear. This is a kitchen product. You can honestly go pretty broad with this and just do kitchenware, kitchen utensils. You could even do home decor, this, or even house plants to get a little bit more creative. That would be fine. But we do know clearly who the audience is. So for me, this is a product that I would personally test. Next up, we have some ceramic coffee mugs. When looking at like a simple product like a coffee mug, we're looking for something that's very unique. And this to me is very unique. It's very premium looking. And of course it is quite expensive. So this product meets 2 of the criteria very clearly, and one of them only partly. The 2 that it meets very clearly are the eye-catching image. Okay, this is something that looks very unique. I think someone's going to see this. They're going to instantly recognize what it is, and they're going to be curious about it. Okay, this is an attention-grabbing picture. The second criteria that this meets to me is the audience. We know that this is most likely going to appeal to women. And then the other feature, the other factor is the price. To me, I think we're at a little bit of a disadvantage here because it is a pretty expensive product. It is a luxury item, and I think that it would be kind of like a gift item as well. And I think I could see someone paying $40 a piece. And I also think that they're going to buy more than one. If I didn't think they were going to buy more than one, I'd probably price it at $50. But I think that your average buyer is going to get 2 of these, and therefore you can go a little bit smaller on the margin, because when people buy 2, that boosts your AOV, that boosts your margin, and so you don't need as fat of a margin to stay profitable. Next product is this succulent planter, and The reason why I grabbed this is because the image is just like super eye-catching. You see the cactus coming out in the shape of the cat's tail. I think that this is gonna make people stop and look, all right? It's not a super like functional item or like, I don't know. It's kind of silly, but I think that the image is interesting enough to grab someone's attention. So I would definitely test this. I also think that there is a high likelihood that someone would buy more than one. And I think that they'd be willing to pay $29.99 each on these. Okay. As far as who our buyer is, I'm pretty sure succulent is an interest on Facebook. At least it used to be. And then, house plants could even target like different cat interests. Might be worth trying. Next up is another planter. This is actually like a vase. It's a flower vase. This image is just super cool. You instantly know what the product is, and it's very unique. It's very attention grabbing. The color of the product is contrasted very well against the background, making it pop out. And so that's very important. And it looks luxury to me. I can honestly see someone paying $40 for this. And that provides you with a very healthy margin. And I do think people will buy more than one, even at that price range. The best images are with the white vase. So I'd probably only offer that color. And then I would do 40 for one, and I'd have a manual variant created. Buy one, get one 50% off. So it'd be 60 for two. And I think you'd get a lot of takes on that as well. Next up is some women's heels. I don't know why I ended up on women's footwear here. It was like on a rabbit hole. It's like all that was showing up. But this image caught my eye just because they've got the shoes up against a mirror. And I thought that was like very engaging. I thought that it was very interesting, very unique way of displaying the product, but the product's still front and center. The color on the shoes is popping out still. And I just thought it was very interesting. And obviously the price is really, really good. You could see $10 shipping here. So I would probably price these at $49.99. And you'd want to narrow down your variants. It's never good to have too many colors, too many variants. You want to narrow it down to 3. So we'd go with the green and let's see, the black, and then this beige color. That's plenty. You don't need anything else. Oh, it's actually, they've got some like open heel versions here. I would go with the closed ones, but I would just use one style here. That's an easy way to cut down on the variants, okay? So image is attention grabbing. The price is okay. I've actually had a lot of success with high valued women's footwear in the past in the $60 to $70, selling it in that range. I feel like super cheap stuff for women's very hard to get traction with because there's so much competition in that niche of cheap women's fashion. There's just a lot of legit brands out there that are very, very heavily competitive in ads with that market. So going a little bit higher and going into that $50, $60, $70 range, in my experience, I've actually had greater success there. We know who's going to wear these. You can target formal wear, dresses, and high-heeled footwear. So I would test this product. So as you're probably noticing a little bit of a trend here where the products aren't perfect. They don't meet every criteria. Like they're not all perfect. Each one has kind of like a little lacking in one area, and that's okay. But if it's lacking in 2 areas, then there's a very small chance that the product's going to work. Like if it's got like a less than perfect, if it's got a less than great picture and a less than great margin, then it's just got no legs to stand on, right? If it's got a great picture, but your margin's terrible, or you have to like price it super high and you're not very, sure who the audience is, it's not going to work, right? So 2 out of 3 is good. 2.5 out of 3 is like the sweet spot. 3 out of 3 is very rare. And honestly, it's really funny. And a lot of people will back me up on this. Whenever you find a product that's like perfect and meets and checks every box and is like definitely going to be a huge winner, those are the ones that don't work. I don't know why. It's some kind of curse that happens. But moving on, we've got another product here. Price range is decent. I would sell this for $39.99. So it's got an okay price range. It does look kind of like a more luxury shirt. So I think people would pay $40, and I think people would buy more than one. And in fact, I would limit this to just 3 colors. I'd do blue, white, and khaki. I think that those are the most aesthetically pleasing. And I would do a buy 2, get 1 50% off bundle. And I think you'd get a lot of takes on that as well. And you'd still have a decent margin. We know our audience here, obviously it's men who are preparing for summer weather. So I would target resorts, beaches, swimwear, that kind of stuff. Those things would work very well. And then pictures are okay. Like the individual pictures are okay. The problem here is that side by side, they kind of look crappy because they're clearly Photoshopped when you look at them all together. they're just changing the colors in Photoshop. So it is lacking in that area. But I do believe that since we just run like a single image anyways, that this would be okay. And another thing you can do is search AliExpress for like other recommended products after this, and you might find another seller that has different variations, different pictures available. So that's another thing that I'd recommend trying. All right, now you're probably wondering, because the whole purpose of this was to show you guys what kind of products that I'm looking for, and the goal is to find products that are untapped, that haven't been scaled by other sellers. And the reality is there's no way to be 100% certain that a product hasn't been scaled before. There's no way to be 100% certain that other people aren't selling it, okay? There's a few things that you can do to improve your odds, but there's no way to know for sure. Okay. Generally in my, day-to-day business operations, my testing, my research process, I honestly don't even put very much thought into what other people are doing. I'm focused on a high volume testing approach where I know that I can't get accurate, like perfectly accurate data on whether or not something's been scaled before. It's impossible. There's no like database that tracks all of that. Your best weapon there is just time in the industry and seeing things and being around for a while. And then you start to know like, okay, I've seen this a bunch of times in the past, so I'm going to stay away from it. Or I've never seen this before. This looks brand new. I'm going to try it. So really time in the industry is like your best tool here. But if that's not you, if you don't have that, then you're better off just testing everything that you like. If it meets those 3 criteria that we talked about today, attention grabbing image, high quality image, what does the margin situation look like? What's your AOV going to be? How big is your margin? And then 3, do you know who your audience is? If you're meeting those criteria and you feel good about the product, then just test it. Don't second guess yourself and overthink like, is somebody else running this, blah, 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 blah. Like you're going to stumble into those brand new untapped products just by being someone who's consistently testing at a high level. Okay, you're going to find those big winners. You're better off just embracing a high volume testing approach and knowing that those untapped winners are going to be mixed in. Okay, and a couple things that you can do to check, I guess, if you really want to, is you can do like an image search, right? Search image with Google, and you can just see how many dropshipping stores it shows up in. If it doesn't show up in any dropshipping stores, there's no store selling that product with that image, that's a good sign, right? The other thing that we occasionally look for is how many sellers on AliExpress are selling this product. This is actually probably the most accurate way, but again, it's not perfect. The highest volume sellers don't use AliExpress, right? They're sourcing it through a private agent. And so it really doesn't reflect on AliExpress. I don't even look at like orders sold or whatever. It's kind of an irrelevant data point because we don't know if that's real or not. I'm pretty sure that stuff can be faked. Anyways, something that is a trigger for me and knowing that a product's been like burnt out is if there's like 20 or 30 different sellers on AliExpress selling the same thing, then that's a pretty good indicator that it's been burnt out. And the reason for that is product will perform well, it'll scale up, and this factory will have in China that's producing this product will have people working there. That information will spread to other factories, and those other factories, those other sellers will start producing and sourcing the same item and also listing it on AliExpress. So the longer a product's been around, the more sellers on AliExpress will have it. So that's one good way. But again, you have to weigh the pros and cons of wasting your time looking into that stuff versus just cranking out products as fast as you can. And that's what I prefer to do personally. Anyways, even though the untapped products are the best performers, it doesn't mean that an old product can't sell and it can't be, old products can come back. Like my old winners from 5, 6, years ago, they still have the ability to come back in new seasons each year. All right. So old products aren't necessarily horrible. You can make some money on them. But if you want to be the person that makes $1 million on one product, you got to find that untapped new product. And the best way to do that is a high volume testing approach. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful, kind of just hit you with a whole lot there. If you want to learn more from me, the best way to do so is in my Discord group. We have private Discord. It's $70 a month and you get pretty much unrestricted access to me and my business partner, Alex. And we do weekly coaching calls with the group. Okay. So for $70 a month, you get 4 calls, like mentorship style calls with me and Alex and the rest of the group, okay? And 24/7 support, access to a community that's full of 7 and 8 figure drop shippers. I mean, we are the most, in my opinion, the most active, most engaged group of elite level drop shippers that has ever existed. This Discord has become like just unbelievable. And anyways, so I hope to see you guys in there. In my next couple of videos, guys, I'm going to go over my current results on my current store. Also, I'm going to reveal a 7-figure winner for you guys. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe, like, please leave a comment. I appreciate all that stuff, and I'll see you guys around.